From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, with temperatures dropping and the first snow falling, roads in the interior were icy this morning and several accidents were reported. Sections of the Steese Highway, Johansson Expressway and Phillips Field Road were closed after multiple vehicles lost control in the icy conditions. Motorists reported it was especially slippery on the bridges and overpasses. Officials with the Fairbanks Police Department said it's important to slow down and give yourself extra time when commuting at this time of year.
Here, it's about this time of year we see a rash of accidents for similar reasons. Folks are just used to driving in the summer. They're used to driving on wet or dry roads, and we're just not attuned yet to the icy conditions. And we just want to make sure people are aware that, especially this time of year, we get pretty good temperature fluctuations. During the day, it's warmer, we get rain, we get moisture, and then at night it's getting down and it's freezing. Areas of particular concern for us, just like this morning, are bridges and overpasses, because they have that cool air underneath. They tend to freeze, whereas the roadway itself, where there's ground underneath it that's still warm, that hasn't frozen yet, can be just wet and not slippery.
Police also remind drivers that as of September 15th, it's okay to change from summer to winter tires. They say the patrol cars used by police will also change theirs to ensure the safety of their officers. Officials with the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation say the Mayflower restaurant has been cooperating with inspectors since it was shut down yesterday. DEC received information on its Facebook page alleging the possibility that cockroaches were seen in the restaurant. A picture on Facebook showed what appeared to be an insect near a stack of plates. The Fairbanks Food Safety and Sanitation Office inspected the restaurant and found violations that they say warranted the closure. The state is working with the restaurant so that it can reopen as soon as possible.
So today, our staff went out and we did follow up at the facility, and the operators showed a lot of improvement, and they had been working to correct the problem. They brought in professional help for pest control, and they are just choosing to stay closed a little bit longer.
The city of Fairbanks is getting an official emergency management facility thanks to over $2 million of state and federal funding. The new facility is just about done, according to emergency managers Craig Malloy. It's located along Farmers Loop inside the Steese Fire Department. The Emergency Coordination Center is built to be the eyes and ears for commanders with equipment that can analyze and project a variety of emergency disaster situations. Malloy says Steese Fire is the perfect place to have an emergency management facility because of the department's location on high ground and a fire-resistant hardwood forest surrounding the building. He says that the room still needs some work, but could be used right now if a disaster struck.
What we call the main floor of the Emergency Coordination Center. We have a couple breakout conference rooms and briefing rooms, and we have a communications room that's got a lot of high-tech communications equipment in it. You know, if we wanted to play off the White House, we could call it the war room.
Well, it was indeed chilly and icy this morning. For more on weather, Mike Schultz joins us now with our first look at weather. Mike.
Hey, Daryl, you're right. We did have a little bit of introduction to winter yesterday, but things look a lot better today. Lots of sunshine, and after the fog burned off, that is, and things look pretty good. In fact, temperatures around the interior right now are showing a little bit of a recovery there. 40 degrees at Fairbanks, Fort Wainwright, North Pole and Eielson Air Force Base, about 42 degrees at Delta Junction. Elsewhere, we have only chilly 37 degrees at Nenana and Denali Park at 42 degrees. Now, the overall outlook is for the sun to continue shining all the way through in the weekend, looks right now, and looks like temperatures will be slowly working their way past the 50-degree mark by the weekend. So all in all, it doesn't look all that bad, and like the snow is out of the picture for right now, at least a long ways out on the long-range projection. We'll talk more about that and talk about all the weather in general a little bit later on. Daryl?
Very well, thank you, Mike. And when we come back, we'll tell you about the 50 varieties of potatoes found in the Tanana Valley. Also, a well-known longtime Fairbanksan says he'll retire, or maybe he'll retire. Stay with us. And welcome back. He's known to many in our community as a longtime volunteer in the Golden Heart City. Recently, the Fairbanks Food Bank announced he would be retiring. But this man always keeps us on our toes and just can't stop giving back. Now, you wonder who we're talking about? Stephanie Woodard has more now in this report.
Not know his name, but you'll surely recognize his face. Glenn Hackney has become not only the face of the Fairbanks Food Bank, but an inspiration to many volunteers in the community.
He's been such an icon. I mean, people walk up to him and give him donations for the food bank because that's what he's known for. So we were a little bit sad, but by the same token, how can you be sad about 30 years of service?
He says it's not just the donations that he enjoys.
Primarily interacting with just a whole gaggle of very, very nice, dedicated people.
Hackney has been volunteering at the food bank for over 3 decades. That's right, 30 years and tons of food. The food bank announced his retirement, but true to Mr. Hackney's dedication, he said he just couldn't stop giving, at least not completely.
Well, I'm not going to stop volunteering. I'm kind of taking a hiatus, not really a permanent vacation type thing. What I'm trying to do is to stay healthy until the 22nd of December when I'll be 90. I want to be sure and make that. So you get that out of the way and then anything goes.
Hibernating for the winter or until that 90th birthday milestone, whatever you want to call it, Glenn Hackney will still be sticking around. And that's good, according to those at the food bank.
Because people will come to the food bank just to see Glenn. And somebody decided one day he was labeled the do-gooder of Fairbanks. And that fits him like a T.
He says whether he stays or hibernates, there's only one thing that he wants to make sure the community continues.
Just keep on giving to the food bank.
I'm Stephanie Woodard, reporting.
Well, here is an interesting fact. Did you know that there are more than 50 different varieties of potatoes in the Tanana Valley? This weekend, they will be spotlighted with the 15th annual Potato Extravaganza. The event is sponsored by Festival Fairbanks and will feature a 7-course meal incorporating potatoes into each appetizing selection. The evening will also spotlight various chefs from restaurants across the community. They, in turn, will work with students from the Tanana Valley campus. The proceeds will go toward the many activities that Festival Fairbanks oversees.
Well, Festival Fairbanks hosts the Tanana Valley Potato Extravaganza. This is our 15th annual, and it is the premier fundraiser for Festival Fairbanks. It's a 7-course gourmet dinner, and there's going to be a complimentary wine, a silent auction, a raffle, and it's a way for us to celebrate the harvest, our local farmers, local produce, and the local chefs.
For more information or tickets, call Festival Fairbanks. Alaska Forget-Me-Not is a coalition that works to ensure military members and families have access to culturally competent services and support. Monty Bowen has more about the program in this week's Military Report.
Earlier this month, Governor Sean Parnell signed a memorandum of agreement recognizing the accomplishments of Alaska Forget-Me-Not.
We have a community of supporters of our military, and we have opportunity here that is beyond what I think is available in anywhere else in the country.
The program focuses on statewide collaboration, community outreach, education, and strategic partnerships to benefit service members, veterans, and families living all across Alaska.
And what you're seeing today is a gathering of service providers who are willing to say that we as a community support you, that we support the efforts to restore and to heal and to be together as a community in this fight, because it is not just a fight that gets fought overseas in Iraq or Afghanistan, but it is a fight that is waged here together.
Alaska Forget-Me-Not also works to identify gaps in available programs and duplication of efforts to make sure services maximize their program's impact. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
All right, there is some good news coming out of the Alaska Nanooks hockey camp today. They picked their team captains. Find out who will formally lead this year's team. Also, history was made on the volleyball court last night. Sports is next with Joe Cook.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here at Sports Seat for you this evening, bringing you some Wednesday sports. This afternoon, after practice, the UAF hockey team chose their captains for the 2014-2015 season. Last year's WCHA Defensive Player of the Year, Colton Pareko, will wear the C for the Nooks. The junior defenseman's 26 points were most among defenders. He was also a St. Louis Blues 2012 third-round pick. Fellow junior Tyler Morley was named assistant captain. Considered the heart and soul of the team, the center was 7th in scoring in the WCHA with 34 points as a sophomore. And senior Garrett Perry is your third captain. Perry has progressed each season as a Nanook and had a breakout junior year with 22 points. Here's reaction from the captains.
Obviously, I'm going to have a bigger role to play as coming to the rink, getting prepared every day and doing things the right way, because that's what you're supposed to be doing, and I think that's me anyhow, so I want to get better.
You know, I've really made a huge transition from that freshman year to now, and it's really an honor to wear the A-Bear and to be named assistant captain, so I'm very, very proud.
Even though it's just us three, we still have a lot of great senior class of leadership there, and even in our junior class, so it's not just going to be relied on us three, but we're going to expect a lot of everyone else as well.
I think that these three guys exemplify Nanook hockey and the way they are as players, as people, and we're certainly proud to name them our captains this year.
And the Hutchinson Hawks achieved another milestone for their volleyball program on Tuesday night. It would not come easy as the Hawks took on the West Valley Wolfpack at home. West Valley was fresh off a second-place finish at the West Spectacular and beat Hutch in the West Valley Invitational 2 weeks ago. But senior Michaela Hayron was working for the Hawks as they won the opening set 25-15. She had a game-high 15 kills for Hutch. In the second set, Ruthie Hubert got the pack going. They won the second set 25-19. She had 10 blocks, 7 for points, and 5 kills for West. Hutch rallied in the third set. They were down 5-1, but they won that set 25-19. It was big on big as Alina Heinrichs and Hebert battled at the net. Heinrichs had 8 kills for Hutch. Annalie Tidwell, she had 8 kills as well. Stella Knox trying to get the West Valley Wolfpack back in it. She had 11 kills. The Hawks rallied again, and it was 23-23 in the fourth. Anyone's game, but Hiram powers down the final point, and the Hutchinson Hawks won 25-23 to get the victory in 4 sets. It's the first win in volleyball over 4A West Valley in program history for the 3A Hutchinson Hawks.
We definitely thought we can win. I mean, in the past we've just kind of been a little nervous to play them in a way, but we know that we can beat them. I mean, when we go into big games against higher opponents, then we definitely just feel like there's no reason we can't beat them, and tonight we definitely were. This is our home court, so we better make a standpoint on our home court. So right now I feel like we can do anything. I feel like there's nothing we cannot do right now. I mean, we beat Monroe and we beat West Valley now, and so I feel like everybody else better watch out. So.
Putting teams on notice there. And last night's other volleyball game, Lathrop and North Pole played 5 sets in the MAC opener for both teams. The Pats won the last 3 sets after losing the first 2. Lindsay Daniel led North Pole with 55 assists. Megan Smith and McKinley Putnam both had 14 kills. Tyra Doe had 8 kills for Lathrop, and Nadine Velasco registered 23 digs for Lathrop. And in flag football last night, one team is now on top of the standings after another shutout victory. West Valley and Hutchinson tangled on a cool and damp night at West Valley Stadium on Tuesday. The Wolfpack scored in each half, led by Olivia Shellikins, who had 2 touchdowns, and freshman Riley Baumgartner, she added another. West Valley would shut out Hutchinson 18-0, dropping the Hawks to 0-6. With 3 games left in the season, the Pack are now 5-1. They host Lathrop on Thursday, which will be the big one. Lathrop is 4-2. It's a tiebreaker game as both teams split their first 2 meetings. Now we end with this week's Pro Football Challenge winner. This week's winner is, drumroll, Jay Paniak. Congratulations, Jay. You get an oil change courtesy of Stanley Nissan. Jay got 13 of 16 picks correct this week, which is really good given how the football season is going. So far, the PFC leaders are True Grit 69. He has 33 picks right. Nate P 919 and Jay Godzina are tied in the runner-up spot with 31 picks. I got 9 picks correct this week, and so did Mike Schultz, but I'm still ahead by 2 points, 25-23. To 23 picks right so far. And tomorrow is the start of week 4, and the Washington Redskins will take on the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football, so get those picks in for week 4. And that's our wrap for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Mike Schultz with you once again, looking at the weather. And like I said before, we are looking at colder air moving in over the weekend. A little bit cooler, but nice and warm for the next couple days. That's good news. Hey, our photograph for tonight is a very nice one. This one's sent by Michael Weathers and some recent auroras. He shot the auroras through the clouds there. That's a nice shot there, Michael. Good shot. And as always, if you have a photograph you'd like to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we will share it with the rest of the audience. And as far as our numbers go out the airport right now, well, we're looking at 42 for a high. Right now, it's down to 39. The overnight low last night, a very chilly 26-degree reading. The record high, 69 in 1942, but 8 degrees in 1992. Your sunrise and sunset, a little bit less than 12 hours of daylight, and that is a gain, or actually a loss of 6 minutes from yesterday. What's going on our satellite and radar? You can see that frontal system that moved through yesterday out of the picture now. High pressure really starting to build in, clear things out. When you get high pressure building in, you get a little bit of a flow from the south. That's why we're looking at warmer temperatures over the next couple of days, and that'll be moving off to the east and allowing some cooler air to come in from the northwest. Not colder air, but cooler air. Lower 48 weather, we'll talk about that just a little bit. Rain over the Ketchikan area today over the rest of Alaska. Just partly cloudy skies at Juneau. Elsewhere, we're looking at sunshine around the Anchorage Bowl, right on down to Kodiak Island. Then cloudy skies on the west coast, a little rain falling around the Nome area, and some snow in the Barrow area with 34-degree reading there. Now the lower 48 weather. Over the Pacific Northwest, the rain continues to fall from Seattle to Portland. Elsewhere, we're looking at very nice hot temperatures. Idaho Falls, 88 degrees. Denver, 84 degrees. Then heading eastward across the rest of the country, some rain around New York, also around Washington, D.C. Temperatures in the 80s for Chicago and Nashville. Over the southeast, very humid and some thunderstorm activity around Miami with New Orleans, 85, 88 degrees in Dallas, and even warmer out to the southwest. Another hot day in Phoenix, 104 degrees there, not quite 100 degrees in Las Vegas. Some showers around the San Francisco area, 80 degrees there and 88 in Los Angeles. On the satellite and radar tonight, we're looking at that frontal boundary that's moving in the Pacific Northwest. The good news is that continues to press off to the east, and that'll be moving cooler air and moisture air into the fire zone there that's happening around Lake Tahoe. Hopefully we can get a handle on that fire that's going there and get it under control. Elsewhere, we have some showers around the Chicago area. And as far as the overall outlook for this weekend, the cool air will continue across the Pacific Northwest, dropping down to central California. That's good news. Drenching thunderstorms and showers over the southwest, showers and thunderstorms over the east, but nice weather over the northeast. Okay, back to Alaska for tomorrow. For the northern sections, rain and snow in Barrow, scattered clouds for Nome, and also at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, looks pretty good. Few areas of fog in the morning, otherwise partly cloudy skies at Healy, Delta Junction, and Fairbanks. While over southeast Alaska, rain will be developing from the north to the south for Juneau and Ketchikan. And out to the southwest, we're looking at partly cloudy for the Coal Bay area and Bethel, and mostly sunny skies at Kodiak. And if you're heading on down to the Anchorage Bowl, well, mostly sunny skies for Anchorage and sunny skies expected for Valdez and Homer. Well, once again, time for our kids' weather. And all this week, we're talking with the kids from Barnett Magnet School. And tonight, here's a young girl with a question for me.
My name is Reed. I am in Miss Cassidy's class. And here's my question for the weatherman. How do rain clouds form?
Well, rain clouds are formed when you have the moisture inside the cloud condensing and turning to a liquid state. And you know what? It takes 57 minutes for a rain cloud to form. I'd like to know who timed that out. That's pretty good. And again, thanks as always to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. Tomorrow night, we're going to have the teacher here, and she will have an interesting weather fact to share with us. Okay, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Look at that overnight low, 24 degrees, scattered clouds, patchy fog. Once again, it shouldn't be nearly as thick as it was this morning. Tomorrow's forecast, looking at 49 degrees for the high with slowly warming temperatures after the morning fog burns off. And the extended forecast, not too bad on Friday, 52 degrees, then cooling off again over the weekend. And into next week, overnight lows will also cool down to about 30 degrees for the overnight low. Tonight's low, 24 degrees. That's pretty frigid, Daryl. We're looking at definitely some more ice forming on the windshields for sure.
Yeah, I'm always grateful this time of year that I invested into an auto start, because before I'd have to go out there and scrape and scrape and scrape, and now and it's good in 5 minutes. Good
you definitely have to have that, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, definitely this week. As we turn over into the season, it seems like it always frosts like this.
This is the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
transition.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, U.S. officials are monitoring threats to the West by Al-Qaeda affiliates. That's up next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime, webcenter11.com.
And you know it's returning to the fall time when they close the fountain down at Golden Heart Park.
Oh, yeah.
They did it yesterday, and we were there today to see what it looks like without the water running. We'll leave you with that and see you back here at 11. Good night.